What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. Hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope you guys have had a great Monday. We just wrapped up week 13 of the 2022 fantasy football season with a victorious Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. Found the end zone to Rachaad White last minute, so Brady pulls out the dub, but most importantly, potentially got you a win in your fantasy matchup with Rachaad White scoring that final touchdown from Brady. Rachaad White, a player we had some faith in going into the week, who was struggling for the rest of the game, maybe outside of a couple of receptions and some good runs. But ultimately, week 13 is done. It's a wrap. Bucs get the victory over the Saints by 1 point. Week 13 has come and gone. We are moving on to week 14 of the 2022 fantasy football season. Where in the world did this fantasy season go? We have one more week for a majority of fantasy football in terms of the regular season. I mean, the majority of everyone just plays through week 17. It's crazy. The fantasy playoffs are starting next week. We are at a pivotal point. We've already been at a pivotal point for a lot of you guys. We are at a very pivotal point for just about everyone, right? You either have secured a bye, you haven't secured a bye, you're fighting for the playoffs, you're fighting for playoff seeding, whatever it is. It's an important week. It's week 14. You guys know what time it is, baby. That's the longest intro I've ever done. It's time for some live week 14 fantasy Q&A. So hop in the live chat. Let me know what you guys need. Start, sits, ads, drops, waiver, wire, roster confidence, roster non-confidence, whatever it may be. Let me know. And we're going to get it popping. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some fantasy football. Oh, am I lagging? Hold on. It's because I have a video uploading. If I'm lagging, I'm sorry, guys. It'll go away in a minute, I promise. Anyways, week 14. I'm excited, man. So, let me know. Did you guys win in week 13? How did week 13 go for you guys? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to sneeze like any second. I've been holding in a sneeze this whole time. There you go. Live sneeze. Let's go. All right. Let's get into it. All right, let me know how week 13 went for you guys. And let me know what you guys need for week 14. I promise, if it's lagging, that's going to go away in a second. I promise. All right. Let's see here. I meant to check if my video was done uploading or not before I started streaming, but it'll go away in a minute here. All right. Oh, my storage is full. All right. So we had a lag to start the stream for no reason. Anyways, I'm hopping into the live chat. Let's do it. All right, Diego, what's good, bro? Pray, what up, bro? If I lost by 6.42, if Godwin's touchdown stood, I would have won. Oh, my God, that is painful. Oh, my goodness. Pray, I feel awful right now. But you'll be all right. You're still going in the playoffs, man. Diggs, what's up, baby? 8-5, let's go. Mark, awesome game. Do you think the fumble by Rachaad White will affect his RB1, RB2 standing with the Bucs? It's possible, but not really. Like I said it like all the last 2 weeks. I still think Fournette's going to get involvement in the passing game in terms of receiving work and third down situations and potentially in the red zone as well. We kind of saw that tonight. 7 targets for Fournette, 6 receptions, 32 receiving yards, 49 yards on the ground. So Fournette still had double-digit fantasy points. Rachaad White, on the other hand, also had double-digit fantasy points, 16.9 fantasy points, 8 targets, 6 receptions, 41 receiving yards, a touchdown for White, 28 yards on the ground. So ultimately, I'm not too worried about Rachaad White in his rookie season with a fumble, but maybe if they lost this game, but considering he ended up scoring the winning touchdown, I think it'll be brushed over. Derek, what's good, bro? We got that comeback going in League One. Man, where do you stand now? I'm going to check real quick. Let's see here. League number 1. Oh, God. I only lost by 10 points. Let's go. That's like a moral victory for me. It's my worst team in all of fantasy is, of course, with you guys. Derek with 178 points this week. So that takes you to what? You were 6-6. You're gonna be 7-6. Yeah, bro. Let's go. You might be making. Oh, dude, if I had won, that would have really helped you. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, you got that comeback going. Let's go, bro. I'm rooting for you. Ron, let's go. What's up, bro? Stephen Joe, what up, man? Ron, double-digit wins. Let's go. 10-3. What a season. Let's go, man. Love to see you guys doing well. Diego traded Lamar and Watson for D-Hop. The person I was trading with didn't know he was injured. Finesse. Orak, what's up, bro? Just got my 6th win in a row. Thanks to all of your advice, Catch. Let's go, bro. I love to hear it. Love to hear it. Watson with the bye. I need a flex/wide receiver to win Week 14 to advance to playoffs. It's kind of slim pickings out there. Dude, the one player that did not make the waiver wire video that I do want to potentially consider after watching tonight's game is Rashid Shaheed. I don't know how to say his name. 10.1 fantasy points on the Saints. 3 targets, 3 receptions, 71 receiving yards. Look good. Look good tonight. So Shaheed on the Saints might be an option. But Nico Collins made the video, but he's kind of got a tough matchup. Isaiah McKenzie could be an option. It's a little tough out there at receiver. Let me know who's out there, man, and we can kind of take a look ultimately and hopefully find a good fill-in. Yeah, it's going to be a tough week without Watson. But DJ Chark is another name that's definitely worth considering. Of course, Donovan Peoples-Jones as well. So there should be someone out there. Let me know who's available, man. FaZe, what's good, bro? Jalen Hurts is my MVP. He's having a great season, man. Great season. Good to see you, FaZe. Stober, what's good, bro? Going for a 3rd straight championship. Haven't had a bye, but I will this season. Let's go. You love to hear it. You love to hear it, man. Move up to playoff rankings. Let's go, Olrak. Pray 9-4. You'll be all right, man. You guys are killing it this year. What's up, David? I traded Adams and Ever for Keenan Allen, Kelsey. Still have Diggs and Waddle. Definitely hurts to lose Adams, but the way I would look at this is you gained Kelsey. And still got a really good receiving option in Keenan Allen. He's got a good matchup this week, too. So, thank you for the, Derek, thank you for the bless you. Yeah, you gotta get that live sneeze in, Stober. Diego, my team for Week 14, Tua or Trevor. Wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, D-Hop, CMC, Ramondre, Dalton, Metcalf. Dallas defense. Dropped 169. Yeah, great team, man. Whether you go Tua versus Trevor this week is going to be close. You know, the Dolphins coming off a tough week, but I think it's the Chargers who are a weird defense to go up against, but I'd probably go Tua. And it's not really a bad matchup for Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, that Tennessee Titans secondary is awful, but I kind of worry about this pass rush against the Jaguars. But both are good wins, or good starts. Ron, if Hurts wins me this fantasy championship, I'm getting a jersey. I might get one anyways. I do like, that is one jersey I've got on my list, just like the all-black Jalen Hurts jersey. But the main thing I was worried about was, like, before this season was, is he going to re-sign? Like, I usually like to wait until a player is locked in with their team, but like, I don't see any way that he does not re-sign with the Eagles in the coming years, so I'll probably just go ahead and get one. But you never know. Like, he could have said that about Lamar Jackson, like, 2 years ago, right? And now we don't really know what his status is going to be. It's scripted. That was a great comeback. 100%. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, you know, it's weird, Prey. This Buccaneers offense just struggles, like, completely struggles in terms of their passing game in comparison to last year. So, play calling has been very different. Shane, trade Ramondre for Lockett and Elliott. Thoughts on Ramondre also? You know, Ramondre is your RB8 on the season. I like Ramondre more than Zeke, but I like both of these running backs. I think if you're in a win-now situation, you do this trade. For sure. Because Lockett's balling out. I mean, either way, like, it's a good trade, man. I mean, Elliott this week gets the Texans. It's a beautiful matchup for Zeke this week. Hey, that kind of rhymed. But outside of that, like, it's still decent. I mean, I like Ramondre Stevenson a lot, man. But Zeke gets Houston, Jacksonville, Philly the next 3 weeks. Really favorable. And then not the best matchup in the fantasy championship against Tennessee Titans, but I mean, literally, Zeke has missed. Okay, he missed weeks 8 and week 9, and then he had, or excuse me, he missed week 8 and week 10, and had a bye week in week 9. But in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starts, in Ezekiel Elliott's last 5 starts, okay, he has 4, 5, 6, 7 touchdowns. Okay, and then you get Lockett in there too, who's having a great season. I mean, Lockett is your wide receiver 10. And if I'm not mistaken, he will move up from that number after this week, after having 27.8 fantasy points. You know, Lockett, since week 8, has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns. You know, I think it's a good trade, man. And I like Ramondre Stevenson a lot. But especially if you need to win now, I do the trade. Yeah, I still think Stevenson is just a consistent lock on a weekly basis, whether he's getting it done on the ground or through the air, or both for double digits, whether that's 12 points or closer to 20 points. But it's a good trade, man. I would definitely consider it. Ghost Hunter, what's up, bro? Scored the second most points in my league this week. The guy that scored more is the guy I will face this upcoming week to decide the top seed. Looking like a heavyweight showdown. That's the best way to end the season. Like, you know you're going to make the playoffs. And you kind of have like a pre-playoff game. Like, you really like to win, but even if you lose, you're still, you know, in good standings and going into the playoffs and everything. So that's fun, man. Derek, my work league, I'm 9-4 now, first place in that league with 1 week to go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Yeah, pray they do check it down a lot. Kind of ugly to see. Jeff, screw that quarterback since I have Lamar and Watson. Who should I pick up? Goff, Kirk, Huntley, Jones. Have a Mon-Ra if that makes a difference. I would pick up Goff. And then you can, I mean, you can kind of wait out and see what happens with Watson. I begged you guys last week. I feel so good about that. I begged you guys to sit Deshaun Watson last week. I don't, and, you know, to be fair, from my perspective, I didn't exactly expect Deshaun Watson to play poorly per se, but I just expected the Browns to focus on the run game because that was the major weakness of the Houston Texans defense, you know. I didn't expect Watson to have a crazy high ceiling, but he didn't play well at all, you know, and I wasn't necessarily expecting that, but I still, regardless, told you guys to sit him. So I will say, like, I don't necessarily know if the rest of the season is going to look that way, but, you know, they could get the Bengals this week. It's not the best matchup. It's not the worst matchup. We'll see what happens. You know, the defense looked good last week. The run game looked fine, but it didn't look as good as it should have. You know, we saw some involvement from Kareem Hunt, which is worth noting as well. 3 targets, 2 receptions. He had 56 yards on the ground, 9.6 fantasy points, while Chubb had 80 yards on the ground and 8 fantasy points. But yeah, Watson, 6.3 fantasy points, 131 passing yards, and an interception. I did add 21 rushing yards as well. You get Cincinnati, Baltimore, the Saints, and Washington. It's like, it's not the worst remaining strength of schedule, but it's not great at the same time. So, I would pick up Kirk and Goff if I were you. I would drop both. Well, wait and see what happens with Lamar. If you're able to move Lamar to your IR, you know, we don't really have a full reading on that scenario yet. Let's see if there's any update. He's week to week, so I don't know if you're going to be able to move him to IR, unfortunately. Depends on your league, but I mean, I think Goff's going to have a good week. I think he's definitely a streaming option, you know. So he gets Minnesota. Kirk Cousins gets the Lions. Both are great options, man. So, I mean, I'd probably rather have both of those guys right now. Believe it or not, Cousins is your quarterback 13. Goff's a little bit further back. He's like quarterback 19. So, and yeah, if you get the stack with the Mon-Ra, that's nice. Shane, I got your question, my dude. Michael, won my week, moved in the first place. Thanks for all the advice, of course, bro. Of course. Yeah, Cleveland defense balled out, bro. What's up, Albert? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Pray, I'm looking to get a tight end and drop Higbee or stash him. Man, I thought about you because Evan Ingram played pretty well, and I know you asked about him. We had a lot of really tough tight end questions, And, you know, the one tight end I got worried about making a call on due to matchup was Cade Otton. Because Cade Otton had 0 targets last week. Cameron Brate ended up not playing. Then Ko Keft had a touchdown last week. And he had 2 targets in tonight's game. But the Saints have played well against the position. Cade Otton had no involvement last week. And I liked him in the previous weeks, even though he's a little bit inconsistent. He had 14.8 fantasy points tonight, 10 targets, 6 receptions, and a touchdown. And I want to say that he brings some value from the waiver wire because I know the tight end position is ugly right now. But he gets the Niners week 14 in an away game. It's a really bad matchup. The Niners have played well against the tight end position, and that defense is scary. So Cade Otton might be an option for those of you looking for a tight end option. Then, of course, like Taysom Hill balls out tonight, you know. Well, I don't know if he balls out, but 13.3 fantasy points. He scored a touchdown and everything and was involved in the game. But he's just so incredibly inconsistent. But it's just tough looking at tight ends. Albert, I won one of my matchups by 1 point on that Rashad White touchdown catch. Let's go. Love it, man. Pray, John, Evan Ingram, or Higbee. I guess I go Ingram, but, dude, it's so tough. I'll go Ingram because I have more faith in that offense, but it's so tough. Derek Hurts jersey. How about them Cowboys? Man, I don't know if I could get a Cowboys jersey. I just don't know. It'd be like growing up a Washington fan. I just don't know if I could do it. I mean, I say that. I mean, I'm about to get an Eagles jersey, but it's like Cowboys a little bit different. If I had to get a Cowboys jersey, it'd probably be Parsons. But I've always really liked Dak and Ezekiel Elliott. CeeDee Lamb's baller too. I mean, a lot of great players on that team, man. You know, but I'd probably get a Parsons jersey. I don't know. I might get a Zeke jersey. Oh, that's tough. Super C and B. My opponent had Saints D and won by 0.8 because of the last second score. Wow. Oh, you won by 0.8. Okay, let's go. I was like, wait, how did that help him? Okay, that's awesome. Let's go. Lots of dubs coming through tonight. Let's go. Stover, this week I started Cook, Stevenson, Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Schultz, Kirk, Carlson, and Brown's defense. Beautiful. Go start on the CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra, or CeeDee Lamb for Amon-Ra and Sutton trade. Looking good. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, Pray, I agree. To start the Niners defense, man. No matter what. Juju versus Denver, Slayton versus Eagles. I go with Slayton, but it's close. Both in bad matchups. What's up, Rio Goated? J-Dubs. I'm out of the Auction League playoffs. All I have is week 14 bye. What's up, J-Dubs? There's still a toilet bowl. There's no prize, but there's... No, wait. There is a prize for the toilet bowl. Just not a money prize. A surprise prize. So don't give up. J-Dubs, how are you, bro? Good to see you. 13-0 my IDP league. Let's go. Diego, after being 0-5, I have a chance to go to playoffs with a fleece trade for D-Hop. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go. Pray, John, Tua versus Chargers or Herbert? Close, but I'll go Tua, but it's super close. Super, super close. Diego, what we got here on Discord? Let me see for you, bro. All right, let's see. All right, so if you win this, you go to the playoffs. Diego, you're the team with Cooper Kupp in your lineup, right? Oh, this is going to be close, dude. You got a good lineup. You got a really good lineup, man, but it's going to be close. I don't know, though. He's got Patty Mahomes in a tough matchup against Denver. Henry's going to have a big week, and Zeke's going to have a big week. And I think Lamb has a good game. The best thing that could happen for you is Waddle does not play. Godwin's still a pretty good start, just due to volume. He doesn't have a kicker. He's struggling at tight end with questionable Foster Moreau. You've got a really good shot. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, Ramondre Stevenson, Stephon Diggs, Hopkins, Schultz, Metcalf, and Carlson. You're in a really good spot, man. Yeah. I hope that's your team. Hold on. Yeah, that's your team. You've got CMC. Okay. I don't know, man. Your team's great. Yeah, I remember now. You've lost a lot of games this year, but your team is ridiculously stacked. Okay. How long is Walker out? From what I've read, undetermined. Dealing with a strain in his foot. Pete Carroll called it unusual, and he's never heard of something like this before. I was about to say, I've never heard of a strain in the foot before. Inflammation issue. So he's going to try and practice next week, and it's just undetermined. Yeah, and no running back from Seattle made the waiver wire video because, like, DJ Dallas got injured in this game. Travis Homer has a knee injury. It's just all over the place. I don't know. They might have to literally sign a running back. Rio, week 15, who do I start in my flex? Ayuk, Pickens, Cam Akers. I would go Ayuk. I'll go Ayuk. I think that's going to be a good competitive game at the end of the day. Tough defenses there, but I go Ayuk. I mean, Olave had a good game tonight. I go Ayuk. Do I roll with the Jets D this week or pick up someone like the Chiefs playing the Broncos? Steven did have the Chiefs in his must-start video. So, of course, go check out Steven's must-start defenses for the week, guys. We dropped it earlier today. I'll give you guys some good streaming options as well. Steven likes the Chiefs this week, so I will say that they're a good start. I mean, the Broncos' offense is god-awful at the end of the day. The Jets get the Bills, so I probably wouldn't start the Jets. I'll go with the Chiefs over the Jets. Let's see. I'm not praying on your downfall, Pray. GR, what's up? I need a backup running back in time for playoffs. I have Etienne, Barkley, Foreman, Komet. Should I pick up Cook or Madison? What about Hooper or Bellinger? I would pick up Cook because he's seen more immediate value. Not that, I mean, Madison scored last week and he's a great handcuff, but like, I would go Cook. And then on the other hand, I will go Bellinger. I think Bellinger is going to start to creep back into the conversation. If you guys are struggling at tight end, it's another tight end I'm looking at is Daniel Bellinger. He didn't have a crazy game last week. He had to have eye surgery mid-season, so he's been out since week 8. But he was starting to show some promise before suffering the eye injury in week 7. 10.4 points in week 5, 14.8 in week 6, 5.3 in week 4, then 8 in week 3, 8.6 in week 2. So, and the Giants like to use him like in a couple different ways. So he had 7.4 fantasy points in week 13. I think he's a player we can definitely take a look at. Hooper is not an awful option considering what's out there at tight end, but I go Bellinger. Warrior Loft was good, bro. Pray, get a Terry McLaurin jersey if you don't already have one. I can't get a Commanders jersey. I can't bring myself to do it. What do you think of Mike White? Is he good for the rest of the season? 15 plus a week? I think 15 plus a week is, not a ridiculous expectation for Mike White. He had 19.4. Last week he gets Buffalo, Detroit, Jacksonville, Seattle to finish the year. It's a very favorable strength of schedule. I think he is a player that we continue to start and a player that we can continue streaming. Struggled with the 2 interceptions against Minnesota, but ultimately kind of bounced back. He did have a rushing touchdown, 369 passing yards. So, yeah, I think Mike White is good to go. I picked him up in the Catch family. Like, I just picked him up because I could. I had I had someone who I could drop, and I picked him up. Do you think Deshaun Watson's a legit starter anytime in the next few weeks? I say no. What do you think? I mean, I definitely argued against Deshaun Watson last week, and I don't really like him. I just think there are better options. Will I be surprised if Watson starts to show some production? Not necessarily, but I'd rather have Jared Goff, Mike White. I mean, Geno Smith had gotten dropped in some leagues. Trevor Lawrence has been floating around. I just think there are other options out there that you can roll with, Daniel Jones is only 58% rostered. He's your QB 11. He gets Philly this week. You probably don't want to start him this week, but I don't know. I definitely didn't like him last week, and we just have to see what happens. It's too tough to make a call. And I really cautioned you guys, like, even before last week where I was a lot more vocal, throughout the season, I just cautioned you guys, like, don't rely on Deshaun Watson as your starting quarterback. You know, if you're holding on to him, if you're making moves for him, if you're trading for him, if he's part of a trade package, like, don't trade away a starting quarterback and rely on Watson because we don't know what to expect. You know, so I really talked about that all season long. Then going into last week, I told you guys, I don't think we should start Deshaun Watson. Okay, there hasn't been great quarterback play. It's like the one comment I made at one point is like, I wouldn't be necessarily surprised if he finishes around some of the other kind of lower tier quarterbacks, but I just really felt like he was not going to have a productive day due to the fact that the Browns can run the football and the Texans cannot defend the run. Although this game took a completely different turn and Watson just didn't play well, but the defense and ultimately the run game still for the Browns finished out this game. But we talked about this, right? Cincinnati, Baltimore, New Orleans, and the Commanders, like, it's not a great strength of schedule. It's not at all. You know, there's some faulty secondaries. These are weird teams. Like, Cincinnati's back and forth, Baltimore, New Orleans, Washington. All these defenses are kind of back and forth, but they're definitely better defenses than he could go up against. So I would say no. I would say no. Pray Latavius Murray or Juju? I go Latavius Murray. Yeah, Carr's playing well too, Ghost Hunter. Yeah, we lost Jimmy G this week. It's just tough at quarterback. Emmy, I won today, but got knocked out of the playoffs due to the point system. My opponent got due to the point system. Damn, that's tough. That's tough. Chiefs have a great schedule for the rest of the year. Yeah, in terms of their defense, for sure. Yeah, Eagles look great this past weekend, J-Dubs. Falcons fan, keep Greg the leg or at Buffalo or look somewhere else. I would keep Greg the leg. I keep Zerline. He's playing monstrous football right now. GR, thank you. I was thinking Cook and Bellinger, but wanted someone else's opinion for sure, bro. I got you. I got you, man. Good pickups. Ghost Hunter, my cousin got a Kelsey jersey with how well he's played overall this year. I'm trying to convince him to let me have it, but he won't part with it. Mike White versus Buffalo or Tom Brady for week 14. I go Mike White. What did Brady finish with? 18 points. I mean, like, he gets San Francisco. I will say I'm more fearful of San Francisco in comparison to the Bills. So I'll go White, but you could go Brady. I think White has a better matchup. Should I trade my cousin a player in fantasy basketball for his Kelsey jersey? It depends on how much you care about your fantasy basketball league. In terms of value, like, it's probably a pretty good trade. Yeah, the Saints just look off. I mean, they're just not coached well, J-Dubs. Derek, our playoffs start this week in League One. Let me check. They shouldn't. If they do, I will change it. But they shouldn't. Hold on. No, they don't start till week 15. Yeah, we're good, man. They don't start till week 15. For some reason, League 3 has it set at starting in week 16. I need to change that. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, well, I just changed it for League 3, but I'm glad you brought that up, man. But no, it's on my end, it's set for week 15 is what I see. So I think we're good, Broski. But let me know if anyone else sees that. Yeah, I see week 15, so we're good, bro. But we saved League 3. I literally would have not noticed for League 3 if you hadn't brought that up. I mean, I could have changed it anyways, but... J-Dubs, hopefully I cash in my best balls on Underdog. I only have one team I feel that can go the distance. Yeah, I was looking through mine earlier, actually, and I'm still going to be negative on the year, like, no matter what, but I have a couple teams, and I have some teams against you guys that did all right. Let's go. From all those 3-man, 6-man drafts we did in the summer. I have one team in the actual best ball tournament that has a chance. That's actually number 1 in, I don't know, its respective tournament, but I don't think it'll go very far. Jeff, should I drop Murray and Williams, pick up Cheap D and Goff in a 10-man? Also, is it worth hoarding Jets or is it better just to stream? I would just stream. Yeah. I mean, it depends on how badly you need the quarterback. Like, I'd drop Jameson Williams for Goff, and I'd drop the Jets for the Chiefs is what I would do. Jay, Meyer's been hurting me. Should I swap his suck up and Dak over Brady for sure next week? Yeah, I definitely go Dak, even if, you know, that he potentially brings a lower ceiling due to the matchup. It's a better matchup, so I still go Dak. You can definitely go suck up if you want. The problem with the Cowboys offense and Brett Meyer is, like, they just score too many touchdowns and they don't need to kick field goals. So suck up doesn't have a crazy high ceiling. Let me know who else is out there, and of course Stevens must start kickers will drop tomorrow as well, and he'll be happy to give you his input as well. Let's see, what's up, Jerry? We got Jerry in the building. What's good, bro? How are you doing? I haven't checked any of our Underdog League. I mean, there's really no reason to check it until, like, maybe this late. So, yeah. I did just to name the teams that are relevant that I dropped Underdog. That's a smart idea. Smart idea. Yeah, I got some teams doing okay. GR, nobody would trade with me all year and vetoed all my trades I accepted all year because I was a rookie and in first all year went 10-2. That's messed up. Jerry Derrick's winning it all in our fantasy football league. He's on the comeback. Certainly on the comeback. So I'm rooting for him as a comeback story. How are you doing over there, Jerry? 153 points. Jeez. Louise. Are you still number 1, Jerry? Yeah. Spencer had to come back too. Oh, man. Steven's number 3. Did Steven lose? Oh, Steven beat Spence. Steven's going to be number 2? Oh, my gosh, he is. Oh, guys, we got to get Steven out. No way. Just 1 by 2 because of Godwin. Let's go. Let's go, Dara. You can't do a 3-team trade in Yahoo or on ESPN. Doesn't really surprise me, but it also does. Chav, Myers, Suck Up, Folk, Gold, and Elliott. I go Folk or Gold. I know Folk has been kind of disappointing as of late, but he at least brings that upside. I mean, he looks since week 8, 21-17, 2, 15-3. So, like, that's not much worse on the lower side of things than Meyer or Suck Up, but the upside is definitely there. I'd probably go Nick Folk, quite frankly. But Gold isn't a bad option either. I like both of those options more. Gold is looking at, I mean, since week 7, 14, 7, 9, 8, 8, and 18. So I like Robbie Gold a lot too. I think those are far better options. So trust your gut, but I would go with one of those two. Depending on which one, they're both very good options. Jerry and Steven might get the bye. Let's go. J-Dubs, I regret that Josh Jacobs trade. We set him up. Yeah. Yeah. Did I trade you, Josh? J-Dubs, when we did the trade, who did I trade you? Did I trade you Josh Jacobs? I literally don't even remember. I remember trading you Henderson. Dude, and did you flip? Did we really do that? Oh my god, I traded you Josh. I traded Josh Jacobs in 2 leagues. Oh my god, I have tears in my eyes. Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize that. I did. Who did I get from you? I got Debo. Oh, I totally should have kept Josh Jacobs. Oh my gosh. I would actually probably be in the play. Oh my gosh. Moral of the story, just don't ever trade Josh Jacobs. I'd be in both the leagues I traded Josh Jacobs. I would be, I know for sure be in the playoffs in my other league, and in the Catch Fam league I would have at least had a chance. Oh my goodness. Don't listen to anything I say. Thoughts on both Hollywood and Rachaad White rest of the season? Wide receiver 2, RB2, flex. I think Hollywood will be just fine, but he's got some tough matchups coming up for sure when we look at Brown's remaining strength of schedule. But the volume should be there, right? And he's one of Kyler's favorite targets, right? New England, Denver, Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Atlanta is very favorable. If you're going to, I mean, hold on to Hollywood Brown for the fantasy championship, but New England, Denver, New England's been playing faulty as of late. The nice thing for Brown now is that Hopkins takes the defensive pressure right away, so should benefit Brown. I think he'll be okay. Perfectly fine as wide receiver 2. Rachaad White, perfectly fine as an RB2 or flex, for sure. Yeah. Brings that receiving upside. San Francisco, Cincinnati, Arizona, Carolina. Not the best strength of schedule, but the Bucs are going to continue being these game scripts like we saw tonight, where they're playing from behind and they utilize the running back position. So I think he'll be all right, man. And like, they need to keep winning football games, man. I think the Bucs are going to win that division. I really do. I think they're the best team in a really bad division. So yeah, I think that they're going to continue to have to attack, and so I think White will be okay. Ghost Hunter, pick 2, Devonta, Hollywood, Zay Jones. I go Devonta and Hollywood. I'm actually voting to remove kickers next year. Your opinion? I know a lot of leagues don't play with kickers, but I always like having a kicker in defense. That's the way I've always played. So I would be open to playing without a kicker and or defense, or playing like IDP. I'd be open to playing anything really, but I personally like having a kicker in defense. But I understand why there's issues there. But if we're gonna, like, you know, I think at that point you could consider removing the tight end position too, because like you look at this year, it's like, I mean, there were a lot of injuries this year, but like literally, if you don't have Kelsey, like, there's almost like an argument that you shouldn't even start a tight end. Steven got Jacobs for Olave and Cousins. Ooh. I mean, Olave was balling then, and Jacobs was not. So. I've got both kickers, Folk and Meyer. Both have upside, but I also don't want someone's kicker beating me by scoring 20-plus points. I think Folk is the best hedge for you then. Yeah, I remember I got Debo. I traded Jacobs and Henderson for Debo. Was that what happened, J-Dubs? I remember giving Henderson away. You're an L, Prey. Expect Kamara to come through after the bye. Very good matches for playoffs. I agree. I was saying that all week. Like, I was saying you can probably sit Kamara this week unless you're desperate for upside. Like, just due to the name, it's technically still there, but it's not a good matchup. But I kept saying, like, don't panic on him. Like, it's been a really tough stretch, but a lot of really good defenses, right? When we look at teams against the run in particular, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, the Rams, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, the worst team in there against the run is Pittsburgh. And the Rams have really moved drastically down. He had 12.9 points against them, but they're much better earlier in the season. Bye week in week 14, but he gets Atlanta and Cleveland, and then Philadelphia, who's been struggling, although they're definitely the best team out of those three. They've still been struggling against the run. So he gets Atlanta and Cleveland, two really good matchups to start the fantasy playoffs. So I agree that Kamara will come back. Jacobs was Rookie of the Year over Kyler Murray. Anyone agree, or am I wrong? I mean, I will say that like 99% of the time they go with a quarterback for rookie of the year for sure. And they shouldn't always. Should I start Keenan Allen or Waddle? Would you rank Allen wide receivers? It's really close. I probably still go Waddle if he plays. But just keep in mind he's dealing with the leg injury and he's going to be questionable throughout the week. But I think Allen's going to have a really good week too. I like that matchup. I like that game script. I'd probably still go Waddle though. GR, I love your content, presentation, the fact that you answer people's questions. You've helped me a lot. Thank you. Appreciate that, bro. I'm very glad that I've been able to help you this year, man. Appreciate that a lot, man. Jerry, the little running back room that I had completely fell apart. Pollard is my only saving grace. Dude, the fact that you have Pollard came up huge for you, though. Came up huge for you. Because he got his starter now. And, like, dude, the rest of your team is so stupid. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Adams, Schultz, Christian Kirk. And then just kind of rotating a flex option. Well, Mike Williams. That's when you had Mike Williams healthy. But now that you have Pollard stepping up, like, and I think Carter will come back healthy for you. So the fact that you had Pollard come up as a starter has just been huge for you, bro. So team's great, man. I think it'll be all right. Let's see. The injuries to Dak easily hurt though, and wouldn't have needed quarterback. That's right. I mean, yeah. Everything's hindsight, you know. If you need a quarterback at the moment. Jacobs and Hendo for Debo. Yeah, I was like, so I just remember like looking at my team. And I was like, I had Pierce on the come up. Like Pierce was starting to ball. I had CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith. So I was like, if I could, you know, it's a 2-flex league. If I add one more stud receiver, my team could just be like kind of filthy, and then my running back position wouldn't need much upside. Plus, I got Pierce coming up. I still have Najee, who at least gives me a good floor. And that plan didn't work out. It almost worked out. It made sense in my head, especially with Jalen Hurts at quarterback, and my tight end position's been awful all year, hasn't it? So, yeah, but. What are you going to do, man? It's always hindsight, right? So, what are you going to do? Who would you flex out of these this week? Rashad White, Hollywood, Palmer, Pickens, or Murray? Probably Hollywood. Pickens disappointed last week, man. Probably Hollywood. Ghost Hunter, have a good night, man. The Scary Terry jersey, the black version. I cannot buy a Commander's jersey until Dan Snyder sells the team. Caleb, let's go. Won all leagues. What's up, bro? How do you feel about starting Latavius Murray this week? I'm good with Murray. It's a good matchup for him. Mike White or Mariota? I definitely go Mike White. Let's see. Is Everett a great start as Superflex? I don't know if I could call him a great start. But looking at the tight end position, he's definitely a player you can start. He's tight end 9 right now. You probably have to start him. Yeah. Is Damon Harris a drop option? It's a good question, Jerry. It's a good question, bro. Yes. He got banged up again. I'd say yes. It's Ramondre Stevenson's backfield. I'd say yes. Especially in your position. I'd say yes. Should I drop Jimmy G in a deep dynasty league? Yes. Do I even think about streaming a defensive in the playoffs if I have Dallas? No. You just start Dallas. You just start Dallas. Straight up. If you own the Dallas Cowboys, you start them. Point blank. Don't even care who they play. Really don't. But let's look at who they play. They get Houston this week, which is unfair. Jacksonville, Philly, Tennessee. I just start them, man. I start them. I don't care. Panthers drop John's man crush Mayfield. Shout out to my boy Baker. Love you, bro. Foreman, Pacheco, or Jeff Wilson this week? I go with either Foreman or Jeff Wilson, Caleb. They have the better matchups. Pacheco has looked good, but he is the toughest matchup against the Broncos. Let's see. Chris, Reef, 15-17 playoffs. Weeks 15-17. Would you go Bills, Jets, or stream to beat up on Houston and the Rams? I'd personally stream. Yeah. I like streaming through the playoffs. Depends on who's out there, though. Gabe Davis or Jeff Wilson? I go Jeff Wilson. I just realized Mariota's on a bye. That's right, he is on a bye. We got you, Jeff. Mike White or Cousins? I'd probably go Cousins. Yeah, probably go Cousins against Detroit. After back-to-back strong seasons, I have to be included into League One next season. Yeah, someone brought this up the other night. It's like, in terms of the different leagues, there's really not. It's just kind of labeled as leagues 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and most of it was just done by when people signed up for the Catch Fam League. But I mean, right now, Jerry, you're looking like you own the Catch Fam League, so you can basically do whatever you want. I mean, last year's reigning champion and. Looking like you're going to win League One, so I feel like you should tell me what to do. Caleb, should I drop Watson now? I have Kyler Murray. Yes. Yes. Do I think Kyler is top 7 rest of season? It's hard to say. It's quarterback 11 right now, or quarterback 10 right now, so probably not. I mean, it's just a really bad strength of schedule. New England, Denver, Tampa Bay, before he gets Atlanta in the Fantasy Championship. In Week 18, they get San Francisco. It's a really bad schedule for the Cardinals. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, unfortunately. But I would still start Kyler Murray from a fantasy perspective. They're going to be in game scripts where they're playing from behind. Is Michael Carter a drop option? No, I would hold on to Michael Carter, Jerry, because the Jets run the football, and he has a chance to be active for Week 14. If he's not active, Jerry, do not drop Michael Carter. Even if he doesn't play this week, going into the fantasy playoffs, which you've already secured, he gets Detroit, Jacksonville, and Seattle. It's just stupid. The Jets have like the best strength of schedule. Do not drop Michael Carter. Drop Mike Boone before you drop Carter. Drop Harris before you drop Carter. All right, rate my team. David, Dak, Mixon, Connor, Diggs, Keenan, Waddle, Kelsey, Derek Carr in a super flex league. This team is loaded, man. This team is definitely a 9 out of 10. Very hard to get a 10 out of 10. This team is, when healthy, a 9 out of 10. Connor, Diggs, Waddle. Had some issues as of late. Connor's been back and healthy, but you know what I'm saying. Keenan as well. But when healthy, yeah. Derek Carr is perfectly fine in Superflex. Great team, man. Sutton or Jeff Wilson? I go Jeff Wilson. I like Wilson this week. I think he's going to bounce back. Had him pretty high in the video for running back video for the week. Sutton's also dealing with a hamstring injury. It's a good matchup for him, but I go Wilson. Mike Pittman does have a good remaining strength of schedule, or for the playoffs, I should say. I agree. J-Dubs, he's going to end up with on bye week this week, right? But Minnesota, the Chargers, and the Giants, pretty favorable. Good volume for him, especially because the Colts just play from behind 100% of the time. I'm worried about Jeff Wilson after 0.3 points. Should I this week? I understand being worried for sure. I talked about this in the running back ranking video, which will drop tomorrow morning as well. But you look at last week's game, it just turned into a game script where the Miami Dolphins had to throw the football. They were playing from behind majority of this football game. They kind of had to abandon the run, and it was a tough matchup for them. The Niners defense played very well against the running back position. Mostert had just 3 fantasy points. Jeff Wilson had 0.3. So not good outings, but the Chargers are very bad against the running back position. They've been getting torched on the ground. I think that they both bounce back, but I think that the upside still lies with Jeff Wilson. He'll be okay. I think so. I hope so. He will definitely, I'll guarantee this, Caleb, he'll have more points than he had this past week. Yeah, Sutton dealing with the hamstring. J-Dubs. Chris, Swift, Edwards, or Carter for playoffs? Swift and Carter. Swift has a... Look, guys, I think Swift is actually healthy again. I put Swift pretty high on the rankings going into the week as well. Against Minnesota, the Jets, Carolina, and Chicago, it's a very favorable strength of schedule. I think that Swift and Jamal Williams are going to finish out the season nicely. And the Lions are going to try and win as many football games as they can. Because they're the damn Lions, and they're coached by Dan Campbell. Yeah, if you can hold on to both of them, I would. But you can... I don't have as much faith in Gus Edwards, especially with Lamar out. Devonta Smith versus the Giants is a perfectly fine start. Cyanide. Yeah. I got him in the top 20 for the week. Top 30. Manny, I need my 2 RB locks for this week. ETN, Foreman, Knight, or White. PPR. What's up, Manny? Ooh, tough decisions here. White just in a tough matchup. I had faith going into the week in Rachaad White, and it paid off. Depending on other, you guys' rosters, but I had faith in him. But the Niners are a different story. We just talked about how much Mostert and Wilson struggled. I'm worried about Rachaad White this week. Him and Fournette didn't crack the top 20 for me, and ETN's got a tough matchup. And then with Knight, it looks like Carter's going to be healthy, so it's tough calls, my dude. I go ETN and Foreman. But if for any reason Carter can't play, you can go Knight. And you can still consider Rachaad White, but like he has to score. It's just a bad matchup. So I go ETN and Foreman. Foreman's got a really good matchup. I'd start Foreman. ETN's got a bad matchup, but close. If you don't go ETN and Foreman, I go Foreman and White. And it's tough because the Jets could definitely utilize more than one running back. Tough calls, Manny. How do you feel about it, bro? Jets had the best strength of schedule for running backs in the fantasy playoffs for sure, bro. Yeah. I wonder how I did those videos a couple weeks ago. I only got to running backs and quarterbacks for strength of schedule for the playoffs. And, yeah, number one unit we talked about was the Jets in that video. How long ago did I do that? Couldn't have been that long. I'm trying to look at videos right now. Oh, here it is. 3 weeks ago. Gosh, that feels like a long time ago. Anyways, Chris, I have Taylor, Monty, Etienne, but they're all kind of meh. I'd still start those guys this week, although Monty's on bye. Caleb, I got you, bro. Swift has finally turned around, has a juicy matchup. I agree, J-Dubs. I agree. GR, 10-team full PPR. We got Hurts and Herbert, Etienne, Barkley, Foreman, Cook, Diggs, Chase, Watson, Burks, Campbell, DPJ, Komet, Chiefs defense, Folk, and Meyer. Team looks very good to me, bro. Is Higbee worth a start? I mean, I want to say yes, but not really. I just can't trust this offense right now. 3.4 points in a really good matchup last week against the Seattle Seahawks, who have struggled heavily against the tight end position. I don't like Higbee right now. Too much inconsistency at quarterback, so I'd say no. What do you think about Kenneth Gainwell? I think he's a really good handcuff, Jerry, because God forbid anything happens to Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell is going to get the rock a ton. Like, we know the Eagles are going to run the football, right? And he's kind of like, he still gets value. Like, he still gets production in certain game scripts and certain games, even when he's not starting. So, do I think you can trust him on a weekly basis? No. But the next 2 weeks, I think he can continue to hold some value against the Giants and the Bears. Like, those are the type of game scripts that I would like a Kenneth Gainwell in. Dallas in Week 16, I probably wouldn't start him. The Saints, Week 17, you could probably start him there. But ultimately, you can't trust Gainwell to get you like 8 points plus on a weekly basis, although he has in the last 2 weeks. But you could also see a scenario where the Eagles are trying to get Miles Sanders to have some rest, and they know that Gainwell is a productive back. So you could see that happen as well, you know. Derek, I think Knight remains the star of the rest of the season. He's been really good since Carter got hurt. That's fair. That's fair. 6 yards carry last week. It's been looking very good. But I don't necessarily disagree. Like, I could see that scenario happening. I could also see where the Jets just utilize more than one running back, being Michael Carter and Knight. I don't necessarily think that James Robinson, who was a player we were a little bit worried about eating into some of that production for Knight, I don't necessarily think that he's going to be an issue anymore. I mean, he's like been a healthy scratch for like 2 weeks now. So it's like, what in the world is going on? So I'm not really worried about James Robinson. But I think that's fair, Derek. GR, I'm 11-2. It's a large part to your advice about waiver wire pickups. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Yeah, man, team looks good to me, man. But I'm glad the waiver wire videos have helped you out. I take a lot of pride in trying to have the waiver wire video out before Monday. Trying to be the first kind of channel to drop that. Which kind of hurts me because we lose out on like some of the Sunday night guys and Monday guys. But usually it's not too bad. Amari Cooper's value goes down with Watson shaking off the rust, plus against a hot Cincinnati. Yes. But you can still start Cooper. But yes, I would agree with that. Jerry, I have number 3, number 5, number 6 overall fantasy players on my team. Your team is wild, bro. Kirk has been amazing for me. I just hope Mike Williams comes back for the playoffs for sure, bro. Yeah, when your team is healthy, it's terrifying, but it's still very scary otherwise. Manny, thanks. Feeling ETN because of volume, even though in the bad matchup. Also Foreman, but if Geno cooks, Panthers will abandon the run. That's true. We've seen that happen earlier in the year. Knight and White at passing potential if Carter is out, still undecided. Dude, it's really tough between those. I will kind of let it simmer throughout the week, and I'll be able to I'll give you my opinion on some of these tougher calls as the week goes on, but I haven't fully shifted into week 14. That's partly what tonight's stream is for, to get me like my brain warmed up for the week. But it's tough calls, man. It really, really is, my dude. Carter started 0-3, just finished 8-5 on a 3-win streak. 5th seed due to points 4, and just beat my first round matchup, so need a repeat performance. Let's get it, bro. Crossing my fingers for you, man. Did Waddle get hurt that game and still play? Yes. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Your waiver wire pickups are often weeks ahead of other YouTubers. Oh, I appreciate that, man. I'm glad that it's worked out that way for you, bro. I really like the waiver wire video. Has always been a big deal for me because I love the waiver wire. Waiver wire is my favorite aspect of fantasy football, believe it or not. I remember when we started the channel last year, my waiver wire videos did awful. And actually, I started off as a waiver wire stream. I would do Monday mornings, and they never did well. And the videos never did well. I was always super sad. I'm glad they've done better this year. I'm glad they've helped you out, bro. I love me some waiver wire. It's just so much fun, bro. You can draft an awful team and win your league based off waiver wires. So. What would be a good waiver pickup for tight end? And Njoku's questionable. Hurst is out. I'm thinking Fant or Hooper or maybe Hunter Henry. Fant and Hooper do hold value. Henry holds value. It's so ugly at tight end right now. It's so ugly. It's gross. Kate Otten played well tonight. Tough matchup against the Niners next week. It's just disgusting out there. Like, I don't think there's anyone I can... Daniel Ellinger on the Giants is an okay option. Noah Fant plays Carolina. Noah Fant's not a bad option. I mean, 3 targets or more in his last 4 games. 6.4 or more fantasy points. The ceiling of 14.6 in his last 4 games. It's just... Evan Ingram could be an option. Greg Dulcich may have got dropped. But, like, all these tight ends I'm naming. Taysom Hill... Oh, he's on bye week next week, my bad. But they can all outscore each other. They can all put up a respectable stat line, then play awful the next week. Jelani Woods, also on, sorry, he's on bye week this week. Just so much inconsistency. The tight end position has just gotten filth, like just gross. So many injuries. Tyler Conklin played like crap this week. We expected like... It's pretty safe floor out of him with Mike White slinging it. I mean, Tight ends are gross. Kelsey's your tight end 1. Okay, just listen to this. Kelsey's your tight end 1. He scored 246.3 fantasy points in PPR. Mark Andrews is your tight end 2. He has scored 154.2 points this year. That's more than 100 points in point differential between tight end 1 and tight end 2. Kyle Pitts is on IR. George Kittle you can't trust. Dalton Schultz is okay, but once again, you can't really trust him. Darren Waller's on IR. Hawkinson's played great. I would love to have me some TJ Hawkinson, your tight end 3 right now. Goddard's on IR. He's still your tight end 6, and he's missed 2 games. Dawson Knox has slapped me in the face after praising him all season, off season long. Zach Ertz is on IR. He's still your tight end 5, and he's on IR. Pat Freiermuth has been a beast. I love me some Freiermuth. He's your tight end 4. He's still healthy. Cross our fingers. Gesicki's been trash this year. Not utilized at all under his new head coach. Cole Kmet has moved up to tight end 8, and you can't really trust him either. You know? And Njoku's out. Irv Smith is on IR. Tyler Higbee has no quarterback. Hunter Henry has been awful after being... another player I loved in the offseason, he was your tight end 10 last year. Tanyan you can't trust. Hayden Hurst is now hurt. Evan Ingram was playing fine, and now he's not. Rob Gronkowski retired. You know, it's just been gross at tight end this year. I can't get over that. Tight end 1 and tight end 2 is just crazy, man. I hope I answered your question. Just went on a rant there. Waddle definitely might be good to go. Yeah. Might be good to go, David. Our playoffs go 2 weeks and 2 weeks in week 15 through 18. Yeah, some leagues have different playoff settings. We do all of our fantasy content through week 18. A majority of people, like last year, was like 90% of our subscribers played through week 17. We still did all of our regular content scheduled through week 18. It'll probably be different this year now that we have more subscribers, but yeah, we'll be going through week 18 for sure. So don't worry. Would I be crazy to start Adams and Hollins? No. They get the Rams short week? No. Should I play Keenan Allen or Carr at flex? Super flex. Ooh, I'm gonna sneeze. Ooh, that was an intense one. Like, I felt that coming out. That was crazy. I go Keenan Allen. I go Keenan Allen since it's a short week. Dude, that was a bad sneeze. Yeah, Derek killed it on the waiver wire this week. Yeah, Conklin does have good playoff matchups, Chris. All right, sorry about my tight end rant, guys. Singletary due for a good game next week. I would just worry, like, James Cook has been coming up, so I still worry. But they both, it's a good matchup. Good enough matchup against the Jets, believe it or not. Pitts was an absolute bummer. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, bro. Yeah, we got you, GR. Phil, I made playoff second seed. Let's go, Jay. Phil. Love to see it, bro. Love to see it. All right, guys, I'm going to wind down. Usually Monday night streams are just an hour, so we're over an hour. I got to do some editing. I got to do a couple things before bed around the house. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off because it's getting late. I'm kind of amped up after firing off about tight ends, but regardless, we have our Week 14 waiver wire must-adds out. Go check out the video. Go drop a like. Go drop a comment. We have our Week 14 must-start defenses presented by Steven out. Go drop a like. Go drop a comment. Let Steven know what defense you are starting this week. He'd love to hear from you guys. And that'll wrap up our intro Week 14 stream. So, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. Thank you guys for the fantasy questions. Thank you guys for letting me know how you did in Week 13. And thank you guys for keeping the fantasy conversation going in the chat. I appreciate you guys so much. Guys, I'm going to try and grind out this next month. I'm going to try and not miss a second of potential streaming opportunities, content opportunities, because this season is wrapping up. I'm going to do everything I can to connect with you guys for the rest of the fantasy season and the fantasy playoffs. So I'm looking forward to it, guys. And let's do it, man. 4 weeks left, 3 weeks left. Depends on size or, I don't know, 5 weeks left for some of you guys. I don't know. Depends. A couple weeks left, ultimately. So let's get it, man. Let's get it. 2022 season's wrapping up. Let's do it. If Desmond Ritter starts, I'm slightly interested in Drake London. Yeah, London is a player I've been holding on to in 1 or 2 leagues just due to the matchups, J-Dubs. We got you, Chris. Derek, we'll see you soon, man. GR, we'll see you next time, of course. Appreciate you. Jerry, it was great to have you tonight, bro. Great to have you, man. Good to see you, man. Hope all is well. We've missed you, man. If I can't win the league, I want Derek to win it. We won't hear the end of it if Steven wins. As long as Steven doesn't win, I'm happy. So, for sure. J-Dubs, have a great night, bro. Peace out, my dude. All right, guys. Love you guys. Love this community. Love the Catch fam. Smash that like on the way out. Hit that subscribe if you tuned in and you're new to the channel. Check out all the links down below. Join our Discord. Follow us on Instagram. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. And look out for running back and receiver rankings dropping tomorrow as well. So that'll do it, man. Everyone have a safe night. Everyone have a great night and a great Tuesday. With that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the Catch